going to begin with the question of the dream. The person say, okay, is it okay to interpret my dreams using AI apps, e.g. Meta AI, ChatGPT? Okay, before I even answer any question, I just want to tell us that let's be students of the word to gain understanding, because when we get the understanding, we walk in it. So when it comes to using Meta AI for the interpretation of dreams, the person who sent this question, I would like you to go and read the book of Daniel, probably even just the first 4 chapters, and by the grace of God, read the whole book. Okay, so for you to interpret dreams, you need to have the Spirit of God in you, and we believers have that Spirit. When Daniel was in that land of Babylon, there were other people who were magicians, but when they were told to interpret the dreams or even tell the king the dream, they could not, because they didn't have the Spirit of God in them to even interpret the dreams. But Daniel, who had the Spirit of God, would tell the king his dream and also interpret that very dream. And I want you to compare Meta AI or ChatGPT to those magicians who were in Nebuchadnezzar's palace. They don't have the Spirit of God. So when it comes to interpretation, as Joseph said, do not interpretations come from God. That is Genesis chapter 40 verse 8. You dream and interpretations come from God himself. But then for you to interpret this, you need to be a student of the word and to discern. And I remember there is one thing Papa Victor said last year. He said that you may come to me to interpret your dream, but I'm not the one living your life. You know the patterns of your life. And I know that God we submit to is a God of wisdom, in that, you know how we used to speak to people in the old using trees, probably animals, not like Nebuchadnezzar, silver, bronze and all that. God understands our very generation now with this technology and everything going on around the world. So I believe he will as well speak to you through those very symbols. Now, the other thing with dream interpretation, when you wake up, dreams are so symbolic. So you need to look into your life. Sometimes God gives you a dream to warn you. Sometimes to show you like what's going to happen and all that. When you wake up out of that dream, try to see what were the emotions. How were you feeling? Were you embarrassed? Were you crying? Were you quarreling with someone? What? Then look at the fruit. Which fruit was in that dream? And if it's about a friend or a family member, you're the one who lives your life. You know your relationship with that person. Probably it's not well, and God is trying to warn you. You should look at the lasting fruit out of anything. And then the other thing, he also looks at the patterns of our lives. Now let me say, if God, by the grace of God, you've left secular music, you've left clubbing and all that, and then somehow you compromise, and God gives you 3 dreams. It's like you're in a club doing this and this, and you're like, God, what's happening? I thought I am done with this. Sometimes it's trying to warn you, look, you are compromising. And if you go on with this very agenda, you're probably going back to the very thing that I saved you from. So you know your life, you know your patterns, look at the emotions, how are you feeling, all that, and know that it's the word of God still to help you even pray about it. And when you wake up, write the dream. Sometimes God is warning you that, I'm telling you, when you move out, you're going to get into something. But if you had written the dream and prayed about it, you would now walk in excellence with an awareness that the Lord told me. Yeah.